All right. I thought I might get in trouble with the YouTube police for that, but I thought I'd have some fun. I got my coffee. I got coffee and I got an energy drink. I'm going to be super jacked up, but let me go over to YouTube real fast here. I want to make sure I'm on. Yeah, I did a no here. I may get in trouble with the YouTube police here for that. Excuse me, but I thought it'd be kind of fun. So here we go. Okay, look, I'm good. All right, so here we go. I thought it'd be fun. Jimmy, yes. Hey, I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. By the way, James, hey man, I got a good show tonight, and I got some great information. But man, hey, I get the work thing. I got work tomorrow, so hey man, go Lions, go Rutgers. So man, I'll miss you, brother, but I 100% get the struggle. Here's the drill. I'm gonna let you guys in on a secret. If you do a YouTube show on Friday and you do a YouTube show that talks about NFL football, and you do a YouTube show on NFL football where everybody takes the over in Arizona and you take the under and you collect, it's a good day. I've been looking forward to this all day. Who had the under? Who had the under? Yes, Jimmy. Yes. Man, yes. Yeah, you know, Alex, you have an excellent point. And I will say this, Kyler Murray may be the most exciting player in the NFL to watch. Now, I'm a Chiefs fan, so I'm going to say, well, let's go with Mahomes. But Kyler Murray's a lot of fun to watch. But when you play like that, I was always worried because here's a guy who's what, 205, 210. So you're always going to have to worry. Is he going to be able to hold up to that? And I liked what Seattle did. I also thought the Thursday night game in Seattle, but I nailed the under. I told you guys. Oh, real fast. I normally don't do this. Because I know nothing about it. But somebody who I respect, it's actually funny. There's two people I really respect that have opposite views of the game. But New Mexico is playing Air Force in about an hour and a half. Somebody I respect had some really good information. My bookie has New Mexico plus 9.5. I have action on that. I went ahead and I took New Mexico plus 9.5. The line jumped up because New Mexico is playing a backup quarterback, but they have an experienced coaching staff. And if you know anything about the Mountain West Conference, Air Force runs that option offense. So, I got action tonight. Normally I only bet on games I do some research on, and I don't do college. This is an NFL show, but hey, look, I'm just sharing my information with you. So if you want to put some action down on either Air Force or New Mexico, the game's going to be on about an hour and a half. Man, Jimmy, I'm going to tell you something, man. This is why I do the show. The YouTube came out with some restrictions on small channels, and it may be hard to monetize. And I do the show because I like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love it if YouTube decided to cut me a check. But my goal is not really to be a YouTuber. It's really talk football and talk with people that know football. And you get tips. I got tips from you guys, and hopefully you guys get tips from me. Like this, by the way, is I can't wait to tell people about this. Jimmy. I can't wait to tell people about this, that you watched my show, you took my advice, because if I follow a lot of gambling sites on social media, and all my social media you can check out in the description, by the way. Everybody had the over. Everybody had the over. Guess who had the under? Yeah. So I mean, I got my ego. This was a good pick. This was a good call. So Pete. I don't mess with college too much, but I do have action on 2 college games. One is New Mexico, and Denver Gator, who hopefully will join the show here in a bit. He actually sent me a picture. He put me on the big screen. He sent me a picture on Twitter, but he actually recommended the over for Cincinnati UCF, and I looked at it and I took Cincinnati in 5 points. If you don't know, Cincinnati's ranked 7th, and UCF's 5-2. It's in Orlando, but I took that action on that as well. But let's go with what I know. Normally, I don't put action on what I don't, but man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. So I do, but I'm sharing what I'm doing with you guys, and I got a little bit of action on Friday and Saturday. I did decide to pass up Indiana 20.5. I have to work tomorrow, but as soon as I am off work, I'm going to watch that game first on DVR. By the way, if you guys are trying to get a hold of me via email, some of you got my number. By the way, if anybody wants my number, just put a link below. You can email. Here, I'll put this real fast here. Just email me and I'll give you my number. I have no problem with you guys knowing my number. If somebody's inappropriate, I have this block feature, which everybody has. So I have no problem if you guys want to text me, call me. But this weekend, I'm going to be very difficult to get a hold of because as soon as I get off work, I'm watching a lot of college football. I'm trying to get ready for the draft. I'm really jacked up anyway. I'm going to drink an energy drink anyway. You guys get jacked up, Dan, today. I am super jacked up for this show. Alex, what's up, brother? Let's go Chargers. You know what? We're gonna talk about this game, Alex. I'm glad you brought this up. I'm taking it as Dan is making tons of money. No, I'm not. And no, actually, no, but I am putting a little action. No, James. Okay, James, you know what? Listen, man, I messed up. I didn't realize it till about 2 minutes ago. I set the stream for tomorrow by accident. What it was is that I was up late last night, amped up because I nailed the under. So what I did was I set up the stream last night past midnight. So, it was Friday, and I was thinking it was before midnight. Because I have to be at work at 5 a.m. So, yeah. Hey, Pete, by the way, thanks. Yeah, I do got your number. Yeah, I got your number. I'm going to make sure I program it in here, man. By the way, if you want me to call you Life is a Gamble instead, let me know. But, yeah, you got my number. Text me anytime, guys. So, yeah, text me anytime. And if you guys want my number, I have no problems giving it to you. This is a great community. This is a great show. I talk about this at my 9-to-5 job. I'm like, man, I got some people in Florida. I got some people in Houston. Golden Rooster has not made it in last couple of weeks, but he's been with me for a really long time. He's in Atlanta. And then Alex is in, like I said, Alex is in Houston. So I've had some real loyal following, and this is my favorite thing in the world. If I could sit here and talk football or go out and date a beautiful girl, I'm always going to talk football. Always. All right, let's get these comments here, and then I'm going to start breaking down some games here. I qualified for a perfect parlay contest this Sunday. Okay, let's see what we can do. I got all the games. I'm using the numbers from my bookie. So, and I got up to the minute. even though I was a little behind, all my information's up to the minute to the best of my knowledge. Well, I'll go into detail once I start sharing the screen here. I'm going to get the comments here. Dan in chat, what's your Taysom Hill start? It's funny. Somebody on Facebook said, should I start Taysom Hill or Matthew Stafford? Because Stafford's a little banged up. I'd love to hear from you Lions fans, but I think it's a no-brainer. I think start Stafford. Excuse me. Even though Taysom Hill's going against a weak Falcons defense has been playing a lot better. And I know Carolina's got a good defense, but they gave up 33 to the Chiefs and 46 to Tampa Bay. And it's a young defense, and they may have already hit their wall. So, yeah. And Funk. Yeah. and I'm going to have a few of these here. I'm drinking coffee and an energy drink. And because I was up at 5 a.m., I got off work early. I drank some pre-workout mix, which if you don't know is basically like legal crack. So I'm recovering from the pre-workout mix. On a personal note, I leg pressed 590 just between us, though. Like it wasn't I didn't go down all the way, but personal record. So I'm proud of that. Yeah. Okay. Hey, and you're on the Eastern time zone, so I'm going to let you know. I'm going to try to get going here and not go on too many rants here. I know Funk hates it when I rant, so I'm going to answer the comments here, and I'm going to jump right into the show. I'm going to try to get this wrapped up in about an hour, maybe hour and a half here, even though I am super jacked up, and I've been looking forward to this all day. When I nail Thursday Night Football, I love coming on the show Friday, but when I nail it, when everybody was taking over, and I told you guys, take the under. 58. I got 58 and a half. You could have got 57 and a half. 28 plus 21 is 49. I'm not going to lie, though. When the score was 28-21, I was freaking out because I could easily see it going into overtime. And once it goes into overtime, that's a loss. But it didn't work out that way. Even though when they were driving, I was like, damn. But also, on a side note, I also have the Seahawks plus 9.5 wins for the year and winning the division. So, yeah, really good Thursday night for me. So, it's okay. I wasn't sure if it's okay if I could call you Pete or not. It's Life is a Gamble is an awesome name. So it would, but I'm glad it's okay with you. If it wasn't, please let me know and I'll adjust immediately. Saints really missing out, not starting famous Jameis here. Alex, I think he's going to play, man. I think he's going to play. I'm not sure how much, but I think that he's going to play. Okay. What they're doing is that they're going to try to build the offense around him gradually because his skill set's so different. Another thing about the Saints that really irritates me is they really don't have a deep threat, and that's something that you need if you have a quarterback like Winston. Winston, you got to understand something. Winston threw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. That arm is really good. It's just that he has an issue with reading defenses, and I remember on Hard Knocks, he came across really immature. And this is a great opportunity for him because, the former coach in Tampa Bay, he's now the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. I already had a name drop here. And anyway, he's the guy who got Andy Reid involved in coaching, one of the best offensive minds in football. And I can't remember his name. If you don't know the story, he was the offensive coordinator in Tampa Bay when they drafted Jameis Winston, and they had Lovie Smith, a really respected coach, but he was going to leave to get a head coaching job. So they fired Lovie Smith and promoted him. And it's driving me nuts. I can't think of his name. He's one of the best offensive minds in football, and him and Winston couldn't connect. So now you're going ahead and you're going with Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds in football. You got to learn something. Winston's going to play. I just don't know how much. All right. But trust me, Taysom Hill's not playing every single snap at quarterback. Believe that. So yeah. Stafford over Hill. Yeah. Heard PJ Walker is supposed to start for the Panthers this Sunday. Hasn't lost a game since he started since 2018. This includes his college days with the 5-0 run with the Houston Rough. You know, I'm glad you said that because I actually thought it was Will Grier that was going to start. So I didn't know that. I thought it was Will Grier who was going to start. And again, normally I have a lot more time to do more show prep. I listen to a lot of football podcasts, but my 9-to-5 job doesn't let me do that anymore. I'm going to get more jacked up, even though I've been belching here. It's a bad show, but I'm jacked up. And you guys, by the way, great content. But yeah, excuse the belching here. So all right, hey, yeah, Teddy B's a game time decision. I would be shocked if Teddy Bridgewater didn't play. Will Grier, whatever. I actually really liked him, and I think in this type of offense he would be really good. I'd be kind of surprised if he's not the number 2 guy, but PJ Walker beats him out. That's actually kind of a big deal, and it also means that Will Grier may be trade bait, or he might just be released outright. And this was a guy some people thought had first-round talent. He went in the 3rd, and I thought that was a good spot for him, and I thought Carolina was an excellent spot for him, but once they signed Bridgewater, you knew he was going to be the backup. So I'm going to go through these comments here. Swift is out. Jonathan Williams could be activated. Swift. You guys know how much I love Swift. He was my number 1 running back. He was the guy who I really, really wanted the Chiefs to get. They didn't get him, but he's been playing some lights out ball. I don't know how it's going to be for this week against Carolina, but I have a feeling that on Thanksgiving, we're not there yet, but we could see a lot of Adrian Peterson on Thanksgiving, which would be a lot of fun for me. But yeah, you're right. You're right. Jimmy Swift out is a big deal. By the way, the line's off on that game. So Kerryon can earn a nice little contract somewhere if he bought. Yeah, I really like Kerryon Johnson. The issue with him has always been can he stay healthy? I like his game. He's not going to be a star. I mean, Swift is easily. Bear with me, Adrian Peterson's one of the greatest running backs of all time, but he's in the twilight of his career. You're not looking at, prime Adrian Peterson. You're looking at the guy in the twilight of his career. Swift's easily the most talented running back at this juncture in time, but him being out's a bad thing. But Kerryon Johnson for like a week or 2, if he's healthy, that's big. That's going to be a fun game to watch, even though line's off on the game. It's going to be a fun game to watch. And I know you Lions fans would love, me personally, I mean, just as a football fan, I'm going to drink some coffee here. I see your comment, Jimmy. Yeah. Coffee's addictive, man. They should really, if you promoted coffee like it should be promoted, it's this bean that you ground up that if you don't start drinking it, I really do. If I don't drink coffee, I get headaches. So, energy drink and coffee, man. I remember last year when the Texans played the Bucs and clinched the division week 6, and the announcers kept calling Watson Winston. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but the one thing that's really nice, and I don't even know if I should touch base on this really because they're so different, but isn't it great that okay. Rant, and now I'm going to come back real fast. I remember reading O.J. Simpson's autobiography, believe it or not, before, obviously, the white Bronco and everything, is that he said, because he was such a gifted football player, at an early age, but going in, I think it was high school, they said, you can play any position you want. We'll let you play anywhere. Just you can't play quarterback because you're a black guy. Isn't it great that stereotype's gone? Isn't it great that we live in a world where that stereotype is finally gone? I remember Doug Williams and Warren Moon. They were like, yeah, you can't play. Yeah, you have this great arm and you're really athletic, but you're going to have to play quarterback in college. Can you imagine if Warren Moon came out of the University of Washington today? He'd be first pick in the draft. But he had to go undrafted and go play in Canada. I'm okay. My rant's over. My rant's over. Sorry about that, guys. But isn't it great? And then, okay. All right. My rant's over. Sorry, guys. The coffee's great, man. I know. He's always one of those guys that you're going to say, what if? Always one of those guys that you're going to say, what if? The talent's there. I mean, let's say he stayed healthy for 16. He's not going for $2,000 or anything like that, but he'd be a really good player. The future for the Lions with Kerryon Johnson and DeAndre Swift to be really good, but you can't bank on Kerryon. So don't be surprised if the Lions actually draft a running back. I'll give you a name. Now keep in mind, I think the Lions are going to have a whole new coaching staff, but Najee Harris, the running back out of Alabama, kind of a junior-sized version of Derrick Henry. Him and Swift would be a great pair, and I think he'll be available like in the third round. So that's something. Yes. You are. I think it's 275. I think the splitting hairs here, but yeah. And you know what the funny thing is, they lost that game. They lost that game big, but the Bills had nothing. They had nothing. They're like, we're going to give the ball to O.J. Simpson. That was their version. It was like 3rd and 9, and the Bills used to give the ball to O.J. Simpson. It's such a shame of what happened afterwards with O.J. Simpson. But as far as a pure running back, I mean, wow, he was so much fun to watch, man. If you watch OJ highlights, they make the hair on my arm still come up. But yeah, I met Warren Moon in person. I worked at a car dealership that sold cars, and what they do is that Chiefs players, we give them cars, and they like sign autographs and stuff. So anyway, my day off, my phone's just like blowing up, and I'm like, if you ever sold cars before, it's like 50, 60 hours a week. So anyway, I'm ignoring it. At the end of the day, like every single person in the dealership, like, Warren Moon's here, Dan, you got to come on up, meet Warren Moon. And I was like, oh, damn it. I didn't know. That's why you guys, you get one day off during the week. And then the state of Missouri at the time, I think it's still true. You don't sell cars on Sundays, but it's football Sundays. So, anyway, Warren Moon came up and they're like, hey, this guy's a football junkie. And I went up to him and I said, the first game I let my sister go was that game he came to Arrowhead and threw for like 528 yards. And he's like, Dan, I don't even remember that game. was really cool is that he's here with the general manager, the owner, and the porter who drove his car. You got to realize Warren Moon met like 500 people. He remembered the porter's name and he thanked him. He went out, he interrupted the general manager, the owner, the new car manager, like 2 or 3 guys, and the 19-year-old kid who was scared. You don't want to come up to the boss and you're talking to a celebrity. And he went out, he's like, hey, hold on. And I can't remember the guy's name. This is a long time ago. It was like 20 years ago. But he addressed the guy by his name and he said, thank you. And it was really cool because he went out of his way to treat anyway, love Warren Moon. So this is what happens when you drink an energy drink and coffee, you start ranting here. So it's somewhere in the mid 70s. I don't know either, but I know that he holds that record. That's probably not going down anytime soon. We're going to talk about this when the draft comes up. I think Detroit's going to be very creative in this draft. I think Detroit's going to be very creative, and I think you could see if a new coaching staff and GM comes in, I think you could see an Adam Bomb and players getting. I think you're going to see some very creative stuff with Detroit. If they keep everything the same, then yeah. But I have a feeling you're going to see some massive moves with Detroit. But keep in mind if they can hang around 500, I think everybody stays. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But if everything stays the same, then yes. But I have a feeling you're going to get a new general manager, you're going to get a new head coach, and you're going to see an Adam Bomb with that roster. And I think you'll see an influx of a draft pick. So I'm going to do a lot of draft coverage. So don't worry. We'll talk a lot about draft, and we'll talk a lot about the Lions because I think they're a good bead on their draft or how they pick, even though I said that they were going to take Simmons. So, The Texans have been hit by an injury bug already. Fuller is out with a back strain. 3 deep. I'm glad you told me that because I was a little worried because Belichick has a problem going against some of his former coaches, and that's why I didn't put action on that game. But that might sway me to go ahead and take New England. So I didn't know Tunsil's out. Are you? I'm gonna double check that because if Tunsil's out, I'm probably going to take New England. And let's just dive in here real fast. Here, I'm going to get these comments here. Yeah, I would be shocked if somebody breaks that record. I would, and that's the cool thing too is that when you're watching Thanksgiving, you're going to see some of those highlight runs too. So let's go with the screen here. Go with my share screen here. All right, I'm going to eliminate looking at me for a minute here, and depending on how animated I get, and eliminate this as well. I was really planning on taking Philly, and I should have done it when it was +3 because it was +3. It's +105. For those of you who don't know, that means that I wager $100, I win 105. Now I have to wager 120 to win 100, and that's what this is right now. This over/under is also going up. I haven't checked the weather report. I was really hoping I might be able to sneak in and get Philly 3.5. Now I'm probably just going to pass on this game. I do like Philly here, but this is what I could have got, and this is what it is. So just out of spite here, I'm just going to go ahead and pass on this game. All right, here. And I got some comments here I missed here. I'm sorry. Are you sure? Are you sure Fuller is out? Tunzel is questionable. Fuller's going to be out. That is a big deal. And you're going with. Did you get Philly? Okay, Jimmy, I'm taking Philly if I can get 3.5. That's what I wanted, but I'm not buying the extra half a point. So if you got it, you're going to collect. I think Philly wins this game outright. I'm not taking a money line. All right. Here's the drill. I have some things going on Sunday, but I'm going to try to be home. There's a chance I'm going to make some game day bets. A lot of it's going to determine how I do tonight and tomorrow. But if I hit tonight and I hit tomorrow, there's a chance I'm going to put action on several games. I might be able to make a fast video. And if some of you want messages, text messages, Twitter, etc., let me know and I'll message you when I can. The plan is also the Kansas City game. The line's off on that game. The Chiefs starting tackles, the COVID protocol, some Raiders COVID protocol. But if I find out anything and I get a number I like, I'm going to put action on the Chiefs game Sunday night. So, yeah, I didn't know about it either, Pete. So, okay, not Fuller, it's Stills. Okay, that's a little different. But let's do this here. You know what? We're talking a lot about it. Let's just jump to it. It's a 2-point game. The only thing that really prevented me from taking New England is that he struggled against his former coaches. You remember a couple of years ago, Lions were 0-2, New England was 2-0, and Detroit won convincingly. I want to say it was like 30-12 or something like that. New England's assistants have had success against Belichick. That's what scares me. But if Houston's got a lot of injuries, 2's a good number. I think New England's getting hot. And keep in mind, Cam Newton missed a few games during the week with the COVID protocol. He wasn't even allowed to practice with the team. The more he plays and the more he practices and the more he gets comfortable, the better he's going to be. And I really like the way the offense looked against the Ravens. I don't think the Ravens have a good defense, but their defense is better than Houston's. I haven't had a chance to analyze all this injury report, but just guessing, but just going off of this, if everything you're saying is true, Alex, I'm going to double check all this, and hopefully you don't find this insulting when I say I'm just going to double check this. But if you're right, and by the way, feel free to hit me up, email you. If you don't have my number, I'll give it to you. I have no problem with that. I think I might actually put money on New England, and I might actually do that later tonight. But I'm really liking New England. No, he doesn't, but it's the factors have had his number. Miami, the last game of the season last year. Patricia had that game. What was it, 2 years ago? Some of his detractors have had his number, and Romeo Crennel has had some success. So that was why. But if it's this many injuries, and I think Houston's kind of fallen apart, and really looking forward to trying to regroup in 2021. I'm probably going to take this because I feel good at 2 or 2.5. 3's where I'm going to cut the line. So, okay, he's looking at the injury report. Duke Johnson. Yeah, 1's a great number. Jimmy's got New England, and there's a very good chance I'm going to take New England too, because I really like it. But I had no idea the injury report, so I'm probably going to do the same thing. I'm probably going to take New England. You guys talked me into it. I'm probably going to take it. I'll probably just check out the injury report. I have a few things Sunday. Now, if it gets to 2.5, I may just take it at 2.5. But and by the way, you know what? Let's do this. Let's take a look. Let's take a look right now. I'm going to refresh my bookie. And it's 2 at -110, so it doesn't look like it's moving. Yeah. Duke Johnson. Yeah, find out, man. Let's find out. Hey, Alex, if you don't mind, can you let us know which source you're checking? Is it a local source or is it ESPN? If you're doing a local source, I would take a lot more value from a local source than I would with ESPN. So if you're getting this locally, let me know if you're getting it. You know what, Alex, if this is local and you're in, can you, I'm jacked up in case you can't tell. If you're getting this from a local source, who is out? Can you just put another comment in there real fast? I might put action right now. Just put a quick 25 down. Because I got action on other games, but I might put 25 on New England right now. Michigan is a 12-point favorite over Rutgers. So, ooh. Okay. Okay, Alex is out with it. Checking from the Houston Texans official site. Okay. What I'll probably do is I'll wait. But I'm Jimmy. I'm liking if you got New England in 1, that's a great bet. That is a great bet. But Alex, man, this is great information. This is the whole reason why I have the show in the first place, is that we can sit here and talk with each other and get to know our football games. Because look, I'm in Kansas City. I have no idea what's going on. I didn't even know that Tunzel was out, Stills was out. This was actually the whole point of the show, is to get this information. That's another thing. I don't think Gilmore is, but if Gilmore's playing and I can get 2, I'm going to take it. But I don't think he is. So, okay, this is one that you picked up for that's a good one for your parlay. I want to know what your other ones are, Jimmy, if you don't mind sharing. Duke Johnson is playing. Duke. Are you talking about Duke Johnson? Well, anyway, let me know. Oh, wow. 16 game parlay. Yeah, Jimmy, I don't get me wrong. I'll always take free money, but the best thing you can do with that money is enjoy your life and keep gambling, keep betting, and keep winning. That's the number one thing. Don't get me wrong. I'll never turn down free money, but man, yeah. Maybe if you still play poker, maybe you can move up in poker rooms and grow. But man, I want to hear people win, but that's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. So you're talking about Duke Johnson is out. Wow. I might have to jump on that. I might have to jump on New England in two because I liked it anyway. The only reason I was really staying away from that game is, but I had no idea they're that. Oh wow, teaches me to have coffee and energy drink there. Sorry guys. I was a little worried that Romeo Crennel may be able to get that. So okay, Jimmy says those free entries I wagered 50 regular action. Okay, Duke isn't out. So okay, Pete is saying Duke is out, and Alex is saying he's in. So let's just confirm that. Denver Gator. Hey, Denver. That's my fault because I messed up. I set it up last night. Oh, by the way, I put some action on Cincinnati. I'm going to take Cincinnati in 5, and I am taking New Mexico plus 8.5 or 9.5 tonight in about 1 hour. Just heads up, Denver Gator. Okay, I'm saying he's in. Yeah. You got him in, and Alex says he's out. So that's why I want to confirm because I'm getting conflicting reports. Pete is saying Duke Johnson is going to play. Alex, if I'm correct, you have him out, right? And what I'm saying is, Pete, you're going off ESPN, if I'm correct. So, but yeah, Denver Gator. This was my fault because I was so jacked up after I nailed Thursday Night Football. After I nailed it. So okay, so here's okay, you're saying he's in. Okay, all right. So he okay, all right. So all right, just to confirm, Duke Johnson is going to play. Duke Johnson's going to play. David Johnson's out, but the Houston Texans have a lot of injuries that I didn't even know about. I didn't know Stills was out. I didn't know Tunsil's a big loss. And if you said Tunsil was going to play, my mistake, but you said they had some defensive line injuries, and the Patriots are going to run the ball. So, Jimmy, that New England -1, that is a great bet. But let's move on. We can always double back to this. And Denver Gator, I'm glad you're here. I do have action on that Cincinnati game, thanks to you. But I took the Bearcats in 5. I'm leaving the over/under alone. So, man, glad you're here, brother. Glad you're here. I'm not touching this one, but this is one of my favorite rivalries in all of sports. You never know what's going to happen here. You could get 7-3. You could get 38-35, but this is going to be a fun game. But I'm not touching this, but one of my favorite rivalries in all sports. Pittsburgh at Jacksonville. By the way, the over/under on this game is plummeting. It's now 46. So I got Cincy to cover 5, believe it or not, and I'm leaving the Indiana game alone. Not touching that. So got that from the Texas. Okay, good. And this is the whole thing is that I want the local information here, guys. And that's what's key is local information is better than national information. So this is key. And by the way, Jimmy may really benefit. I'm holding off, but that's really good information. So I may go ahead and jump on that and bet against the Houston Texans. So I think they do too, but I don't mess with this game. This game's just so weird. The Saints, it's one of my favorite rivalries, but I'm not touching it. This is another game I really want to put action on, and I didn't put the number, but I think it's negative 120 now. It may even go to 1.5, but I really like Washington here. Number one, Washington's at home. It's not a huge advantage, but here's what I like: a banged up Cincinnati offensive line against Chase Young and a really strong Washington offensive line. And some of you Lions fans tell me, because I didn't get a chance to see it, but I heard Chase Young committed a penalty that helped Detroit get into field goal range. Because here's what I saw. It was 27-27, 16 seconds left on the 25. Next thing I know, Detroit wins 30-27. I didn't see it. I don't know what happened. But I heard Chase Young committed a penalty. But Chase Young is really, really good. So for a local wild info, Texans was unreliable because Bob disliked it. Wow. Okay. I didn't know that. Normally, wow, this is actually really good news, because normally what you do is that you want to stay good with the local media. As a matter of fact, though, try to keep this rant short. When the Chiefs brought in Scott Pioli from the Patriots, he did the same thing. He just wouldn't reveal anything to the local media, where the local media in the past was able to come in and have full access to the Chiefs organization. Pioli shut that down. It really ticked off the local media, and it really helped sour Kansas City against Scott Pioli. And normally you don't want to do that, because once the local media turns on you, it affects attendance. And that affects the bottom line of your franchise, which you never want to do. It's not good business. And that was one of the reasons why when Clark Hunt, the owner of the Chiefs, signed Andy Reid, he has both Andy Reid and the general manager report directly to him. Andy Reid has a direct pipeline to the owner. Very few teams do that. And but I didn't know this. And by the way, it's very unusual for an owner to be sour on the local media. It's not good business sense. So I that's really interesting. So did Winston and Peyton get into an argument, storming Mormon? Okay, Denver Gator. I touched base on this a little bit earlier. Winston's going to play. Okay, how much I don't know. I think that they're just going to gently integrate a new plan, because Winston's skill set and Breeze's skill set is polar opposite. But Winston's going to play. Okay, this is not going to be a case. I can almost promise you, Taysom Hill is not going to play quarterback every single snap of this game. Okay, you're going to see Winston quite a bit. I think they're just going to have some fun with this, but Winston will play. Winston will play. I can promise that. Okay, yeah, I thought it was something like that. Was it a? I know it's kind of hard. I know it's kind of hard to say this, but was it a legitimate roughing the passer? Was it legit, or was it one of those? Did you guys get lucky? Rookie versus I'm going to call Matthew Stafford a star if you want to debate that, but I like Matthew Stafford quite a bit. So. Okay. Oh man, this is a good rant here. I gotta try to keep this short. Alex says we have a local reporter for the Chronicle that everything he said, the opposite happened. Said the Texans were going to trade down to get Mahomes, or they got Watson. Okay. Here's the drill with the draft. And I'm going to tell you this, and nobody else is going to tell you this, but here's the drill. Bill O'Brien loved Mahomes. Bill O'Brien wanted to trade up to get Mahomes, and he was blocked by the brass. He wasn't able to trade up. So the Chiefs leapfrogged the Texans to get Mahomes, because the Texans picked 12th and the Bills picked the 10th. The Texans were supposed to, and I don't remember the exact pick, but they were trying to trade up from, I think it was 12 to 8. and they weren't able to do it. And then they were trying to cut a deal with the Bills, but Sean McDermott, who's the coach of the Bills, former Andy Reid protege, they already had this trade worked out months ago. And so they had no chance of trading. The Texans had no chance of trading with Buffalo because the Chiefs already had this trade worked out. And it was a good trade for the Bills. They ended up getting Tre'Davious White, Tremaine Edmonds, and a first and a third, and I think a first next year. So the Bills ended up getting Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds, Tre'Davious White, and the Chiefs got Mahomes out of this trade. But yes, Bill O'Brien really wanted Mahomes, and he was furious about it. And then they had to go ahead and say that no, we wanted Watson all along, because you don't want to sit here and be like, nah, we wanted Mahomes. You can't do that. But no, Bill O'Brien had a huge man crush on Mahomes. You should be. And I think Mahomes is better, but I can make a strong case that Watson's the second best quarterback. You have a superstar quarterback, and that's what you're going to build your team around. It just sucks that you don't have draft picks, the ball around, the build around, but you got a great. This is why I think you should get a defensive-minded coach, fix the defense, build your team around Watson. You go back to the playoffs in 2021. They were protecting Stafford. I did too. I watched him as a true freshman at Georgia. I watched him for 5 minutes. I said it's first-round pick. So yeah, I loved him. But Pete says they were protecting Stafford. Well, Chase shoved Stafford clear out the ball, left his arm snap. Okay. It was basically both you guys kind of feel like it was a legitimate. Okay. And this is something that when you're a rookie, you're not going to, you got to play a little. And that's the difference between, because he does that in college. It's a good hit. He does that in pros, it's penalty. And he has to learn that. But Chase Young, I think his talent level is better than either Bosa brother. He's been battling injuries and there's some problems with that Washington franchise. So, you guys can't see it, but I'm chugging more of my energy drink now. All right. I would love to know your opinion on this game, guys. This has actually jumped up just today. It went from 5 to 6 because I'll be honest with you. I like Tennessee and I like the over. Neither team is playing really good defense. Both teams can score. I might put action on both. I'd love to know what you guys think, but I like Tennessee in 6. It opened at 7, dropped all the way to 3.5. It was 5 earlier today, and just right before the show started, it went from 5 to 6. If you guys don't know anything else about point spreads, teams just don't jump a full point in an hour. Something really big had to happen. I'm sorry. Sorry about the burp. I just drank a lot of energy drink. Alex says, Bob was so angry we got Watson, said Mahomes. He went on his way to get rid of all of our draft picks and put the Texans in terrible. The hate with Bob McNair and the Dallas Cowboys is strong with Alex. Alex, I love it, man. I feel for you. Trust me, I feel for you, but I love it. And I also love this too. I got Pete, Baltimore 35, Tennessee 17. Alex, Tennessee's going to win. Baltimore's offense looks worse than the Titans. Jimmy likes Tennessee. Pete says Tennessee, no offensive line, and Tannehill with no line is erratic. The one thing I kind of like Tennessee in this one, but you have a good point, Pete. But is everybody in agreement that the over looks pretty good on this? Over 49.5? I mean, maybe we can't agree. But the line jumped really big. It jumped a full point. And like I was doing show prep, and the next thing I know, it goes from 5 to 6. I'm going to eyeball this. There's a chance it's going to be a game day decision. There's a chance I'm going to put action on multiple things, but you can already see the one game I'm going to put action on early. So Okay, I know this is messy, but bottom line, this was at 8.5. It's now 9.5, and I'm thinking if it hits double digits, I'm. You never want to bet on bad teams. You never want to bet on bad teams, but um, I have a hard time thinking the Chargers can cover 10. I really do. So again, you don't want to bet on bad teams, but James puts here, I think Dallas should play the Texans on Thanksgiving. Yeah. Why doesn't this happen? Here's a guy who lives in Detroit and he's saying the obvious. I would love it. Who wouldn't love it? Maybe 28-14. I'd be careful. Both offenses have been struggling. Yeah, I'm 49.5 this year's a small number. We'll wait and see. The 2-win Texas. Alex, this is gold, man. The Chargers win maybe 23. That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm looking at what Miami did. I think the Jets can do a lot of the same things. The Jets defense isn't bad. It really isn't. It's just the offense has been struggling. But Darnold comes back. Mims is getting healthy. I don't know if Becton's playing or not. He was banged up in the last game. But and I'm telling you right now, I think the Jets are going to win a game. I just don't know when. And the Chargers are not a good team. I mean, they have some good pieces in play, but 10's a big number. It's going up to 9.5. If it hits 10, 10.5, 11, I might. This is a game where the line started out 2.5. I actually thought it would get to 3. It's just been the opposite. It's now 1.5. So I'm going to pass on this one completely, but this is going to be a fun game. Green Bay at Indianapolis. You got a really good offense against a really good defense. NFC versus AFC. I think Rivers is going to end up in the Hall of Fame. So 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. A fun game, but one I am going to pass on. But a game I'm really looking forward to. Baltimore's looking anemic. Tennessee can't be one-dimensional. Tennessee wins over is tough. That's the thing, though. If you remember in the playoffs, they were completely one-dimensional. I think Tannehill threw like 3 times or something. I think the actual answer was 8 or 15 or something ridiculous. That's the thing. Tennessee can be one-dimensional, and they can run the ball. Derrick Henry can run for 200 yards against this defense. He did it before. That's the whole reason why they drafted a pair of linebackers and Patrick Queen. I'm sorry, and that's why Patrick Queen, the rookie, is leading the team. I'm sorry, in tackles. I think they can be one dimensional, and I think they can beat Baltimore. I'm kind of surprised the line jumped a full point right before I did the show. So. Yeah, the Chiefs had the same thing with St. Louis. It was the Governor's Cup. It was actually kind of cool because they would have like a fun bet. The mayor of Kansas City versus the mayor of St. Louis. But these are always a fun thing. But I would love it if it happened in the regular season because you got an AFC team versus an NFC team. And I would love it. And I think it would be a very popular game, even for people outside of Texas. I know I'm not a fan of either team. I would love to see it. James, he brought it up. He would love to see it. So, I mean, it maybe next year. It's weird Flacco moves the offense better than Darnold. Flacco is starting. Okay. Yeah, he had a little more success. I don't know if it was fluky or not, but I mean, he's a veteran quarterback. He's got a big arm. Denzel Mims and Becton was playing at a pretty high level. He got hurt. So I'm going to look at this, but but I was thinking Darnold comes back to California. Maybe that's it. Pete, I'm thinking the same thing, man. I was really wanting Green Bay in 3, but Green Bay's a dog in this game. And I think Green Bay wins too. I think so too. So it's pretty funny. Though Bob tried his hardest to be the worst team in Texas, Dallas has Alex, I love the Dallas Heat. I wish I had a Cowboys fan that you could trash. I would be. I mean, respectfully, I don't allow people to hate on each other here. But Packers look like the 2019 sells. If they don't turn that around, Colts going to walk all over them. I disagree, man. The Colts offense has been helter skelter, and even though the front seven's good, the secondary has some holes. I actually think I like Green Bay in this one. I was really hoping to get 3, but it's been the opposite. It's actually going in the opposite direction. It's going 2.5. It was 1.5. I don't buy points, but I mean, I would take 3. So Mims, I really like this week in the slot versus the Charger slot. I think he's in I agree. Mims, I loved Mims, by the way. Coming out of college, I thought he was going to be a first-round pick. He was somebody who I actually had on the Chiefs for a while. This is a guy who, the more he plays, he had some injuries, and he was a very raw product coming out of Baylor. He only knew about 3 or 4 routes. He was going to be like a 3rd, 4th round pick, and he aced the combine. He's like 6'3", 210, ran a 4.38, had a 45 vertical. All the talent in the world. He just needs reps. Needs to learn an offense, and a quarterback like Flacco who throws a deep ball, has some one-on-one opportunities. That's a big thing. But he's going to be, I think eventually he's going to be a number 1 receiver. He's going to be a good receiver. Of course, the Jets are probably going to have a new quarterback in 2021. But Pete, I agree 100%. So yeah, we're talking about Jets. Alex, you could be right, but a rod in a dome, a rod in a dome, it's over for the Colts. And here's the thing, I'm an old school guy. I used to say always take a good defense against a good offense. Not now. Now the way that the game is, especially in 2020, with the rules they have and everything, a great offense will beat a great defense. This is hard for me to say because of years and years and years. And I wish you could flip it, by the way. I wish it would go back because I'm an old school guy, but A-Rod in a dome, and even though the Colts have a really good defense, they put up some good stats against some not so good teams, and the secondary is questionable. The front 7 is solid. If you try and run against the Colts, you're not going to do it, but you can throw against them. So if there was a Dallas fan, there'd be nothing but it's funny, man. I have a bunch of friends. I'm going to use the word friend loosely. I have a bunch of people I know that watch are Dallas Cowboys fans, but none of them have ever joined the show. I had a Dallas Cowboys fan, a guy I used to work with when I first started my YouTube channel. And this was after the Cowboys went 12-4. I said, well, they're probably going to be about an 8-9 win team, because they were a 4-win team. Then they were a 12-win team. You always go back. He goes, I'm not going to follow your YouTube channel because you trashed my Cowboys. I said, they're probably going to be an 8-9 win team. They're a 9-win team. So I got it right. But the douchebag didn't subscribe to my channel. He sent me a friend. This is a true story. He sent me a Facebook friend request a few weeks ago. I haven't heard from him in years. Did he subscribe to my YouTube channel? No. So did I accept this Facebook friend request? Fuck no. So anyway, sorry about that rant. Sorry about the profanity. You don't have to be Facebook friends with me, but if you don't support my show and you're not going to subscribe to my channel and you go out of your way to say like, oh, you trashed my Cowboys, so I'm not going to subscribe to your show, and you send me a Facebook friend request, I'm going to deny it. By the way, I've been getting a lot of Facebook friend requests lately. One dude tried to hit on me. So if you sent me a Facebook friend request and I denied it, just send me a message like, hey, look, I'm on your show. And anyway, yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I wanted 3. So, yeah. If they're a Dallas fan, if they're a Dallas, seriously, man, I had, when I first started my YouTube channel, I was in a fantasy football league, and all those guys would not subscribe to my channel. And I was like, well, I don't get it. All you guys wanted my help during the draft. You hit a red button. I don't get it. But yeah. So yeah, a little bitter there. But all right. The way my bookie works is that they don't reveal prop bets till like right before game time. I experimented this weekend. I took Cam Newton over 39.5 rushing yards against the Ravens. I should have took New England in 7. It went from 7.5 to 7. And I said, if it's 7.5, I'm going to take it. If it's 7, I'm not. And then New England won the game, and Cam Newton did not get 39.5. You can experiment with this. I'll unfortunately have to reveal this Wednesday during the Thanksgiving show, but I'll let you know right now, I am going to put action on Dalvin Cook, depending on what it is. With my bookie, it's adjustable, so you can pick and choose the numbers. But, oh, wow. Pete, I'll be honest, man. I am floored by this. I am absolutely floored. What makes you think that Dallas, is it the bye? Because Minnesota and me is really turning the corner. Zimmer has that young defense playing good, and Dalvin Cook is a legitimate MVP candidate. He's not going to beat a quarterback out for it. I mean, you have to hit $2,000, but I think Dalvin Cook could have over 200 yards, and I think the defense for Minnesota is playing good, and I think Dallas is I 100% disagree with you. Now keep in mind, Pete, man, you can always, you know what? I'm going to go back to this. I'm sitting here and I'm gesturing and I'm doing all this stuff. By the way, I can switch this back if you guys want, but you can always disagree. This is never going to be a show where it's my way or the highway. Everybody's got to agree with me. No, you're 100% able to disagree with me at all times. So that's a great point. This is a good thing. I 100% disagree. I think Minnesota actually covers 7, but I am going to put action on Dalvin Cook because I think he's going to have a huge game, but I don't know the bet. But I am going to put action on this. I just don't know what the number is going to be. If somebody's interested, shoot me a text. Denver Gator, you follow me on Twitter. So let me know here. Camp, yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was kind of surprised. I thought he was actually going to run the ball a lot more, and he wasn't. So Bear stopped Cook, but he couldn't score. Dallas has enough to score in that week. Viking. Well, that's the thing, though, Pete, is that the Vikings defense looks a lot better. Remember, they played on no, it wasn't Thursday night. My mistake. But I like the way the Vikings defense is getting better. This is a young defense. They kind of blew up the front 7, and what's his name? Anthony Barr. He's out for the year. They replaced him. It actually looks like a better fit for the Vikings. Some of that youth is really coming on. Was it Jeff Gladney, the first round corner? He's starting to make some plays. Harrison got the hiccups from the energy drink. Oh God, Harrison Smith. I can't believe her guy's name. He's playing at Pro Bowl level. I think the Vikings defense is really stepping up. They looked really bad at the beginning of the season, but they've won 3 straight. They look like a force, man. Is the stream behind? It could be a YouTube issue. When I do the show, I only do, I'm only looking at StreamYard. I have no idea. You guys on Facebook maybe giving me 1,000 thumbs down. Speaking of which, please give me a thumbs up here. So, You do. Oh, I'll skip these. Okay. Um, no, you got a good point. But over the last couple of weeks, the Vikings defense went from one of the worst in football to getting better and better and better. And Zimmer's an old school defensive coach. I thought it was just a matter of time before he starts getting that defense around. So I disagree, but hey man, I that's a good point. That's a good point. I actually think that they could cover 7. I really do. But I am going to put action on Dalvin Cook. I just don't know what the bet's going to be. I'm not going to know until probably about game day. So yeah, they stepped up. Are they top 10 like they used to be? No, but they're getting better and better, and they're really young. They got a lot of young talent, but I think Gladney's going to be a future Pro Bowl corner. They got, and I can't remember his name, from Baylor. He was a 4th-round pick, and he's a Zimmer guy. He's starting to get in there. He's starting to make some plays. And the other linebacker who replaced Barr, I think it's Wilson or something like that. He's had like 6 turnovers since he in like 5 games or something. That's crazy. But they're starting to play some good defense, and Cook's looking like an MVP. So I'm going to put action on Dalvin Cook. I just don't know what the bet's going to be, but a Dalvin Cook prop bet is smart. And by the way, I'd love to know. Too bad Mike's not here, because I would love to know what he thinks. Rams at Tampa Bay, the over-under is 47.5. There was 3. It jumped up to 4. I wanted okay, if there is a way that this dives to under 3, I am definitely going to take Tampa Bay, but I'm not taking Tampa Bay in 4. And I may regret it, because I think Tampa Bay is going to win this game pretty big. But this is going to be a fun game. It's going to be for a playoff spot, because I don't think either one of these teams are going to win the division. So it's going to go for wild card ranking. So it's really big. It's really big. Yeah, you know what, Pete? I actually did forget about that. I forgot about that, but you did say that. Yeah, can he be the league leader? And I think it's going to be Derrick Henry if he's healthy. But this is going to be a big game. This Dalvin Cook, it wouldn't surprise me he goes over 150. You're not alone. You're not alone, but keep in mind the Saints swept Tampa Bay. So Tampa Bay is going to have to get a couple wins, and Tampa Bay has to play the Chiefs, if I'm correct. They still got to play Kansas City. So this is a must-win for Tampa Bay. It's not a must-win for the Rams, but it is going to go for playoff jockeying position for the 2 teams. So this is a massive game. Tampa Bay needs it more than the Rams. That's why I like Tampa Bay to win this game. I want under 3. If it gets under 3, I'm definitely taking Tampa Bay. At 4, I'm leaving it alone. Giants going to break the ankle of every team's QB in their division. And then Pete comes in 3-game slump with Winston. Falcons not tanking, those veterans playing for jobs, and they really are. But Alvin Kamara's playing at an MVP level. Michael Thomas is coming back. The defense is playing good, and Brees was not playing good, man. I think the Saints win this one, and I think the Saints also play Kansas City in week, I want to say 15. Brees may or may not be back. Ideally, Kansas City can start playing. No, actually, that's not going to be true. There's no way that they can start playing. Resting up, 3 weeks, but I haven't broke down the records from both those 2, but I feel good about the Saints winning that division right now, but a lot of it's going to change. And we'll talk more Wednesday. More Wednesday, but this is interesting to follow. But the Rams Tampa Bay is going to be a good game. This game is back on. This was not on Wednesday. I actually tried to take Miami in 3, and I'm tempted to take Miami at 3.5. The rumor is, in Denver Gator, if you're still there, the rumor is there's going to be some bad weather. So, and there, I think it was the Move to 6 podcast are talking about Tua, because apparently at Alabama he never played in a bad weather game at Alabama. He's from Hawaii. Obviously, there's not bad weather in Hawaii. His whole career at Alabama, never played. This would be his first bad weather game. So, I don't know. I haven't had a chance to check the weather report. I wanted to put action on 3. It opened up as a pick 'em. I couldn't get it. So Denver Gator, if you're still there, what's the weather going to be like in Denver? Pete will say Matt Ryan will show off Sunday, Julio, and no Lattimore. It's over for the Saints. I don't think it's over, but you're always able to disagree. I forgot about Lattimore being out, though. That's huge. That's huge because Lattimore's good. Oh, man. Alex. Alex says he's picking the Raiders. Going to be a high-scoring game. I think Vegas knows how to beat Kansas City. Just so you know, the last time that they played, the Raiders did beat Kansas City, but Kansas City won 9 straight. The Kansas City Chiefs record against the AFC West is like 30-3. The Chiefs have owned the AFC West in dominant fashion. So I disagree with you. The thing is, though, is that there's a lot of COVID protocols for both teams here. The Chiefs starting tackles are still in COVID protocol. I haven't heard, but if they're starting, I'm probably going to take Kansas City to cover up the 6. So right now it was at 6.5. Somebody I respect has Kansas City Kansas City minus 7.5. But I just slammed some energy drink, but I disagree with you. But it's interesting. I mean, that's the whole point we do this. And keep in mind, I'm a Chiefs fan. Sorry, is that energy drink? So it's hard for me to look at this unbiased, but I do know for a fact the Chiefs have owned the AFC West in a dominant fashion that's rare, even in NFL standards. It was like it's almost never happened before, except for the Patriots owning the AFC East. That's the only thing you can draw from it that's even close. But it's interesting that people are picking against Kansas City, though. I wonder if other people are feeling this. The game's off because of COVID protocol. But hey, man, hey, listen, Wednesday, let me know. We'll talk about this. I will be very upset though if my Chiefs lose. Hey, well, no. I'm not asking you to talk about the team. What's the weather going to be like? Just can you let me know the weather? Yes, shots. Pete was saying, as a Dolphin fan, Dan, this offense isn't moving. The offense better with Tua. It's starting to worry me, but the Dolphins defense is beatable. Locked throws, turnovers versus double coverage. Miami never doubles. That's very interesting. Jonathan Abram is out due to COVID. Chiefs win. By the way, I love it. He's a stud. I love his game. I love him. He's a fun player to watch. I remember Hard Knocks. They were raving and ranting over the kid, and he ended up getting hurt. Future superstar. And the Chiefs both starting offensive tackles are in COVID protocol. And that's something I got to watch. And that's why I'm going to have this could be as soon as a game time decision. But yeah. I'm kind of, if the Chiefs are healthy, then yeah, over under is a big number, man. So Tua is a great quarterback, but he's due for a bad loss, and it wouldn't be surprising if it came by the Broncos, especially if it's a bad weather game. That's what I want. I haven't had a chance to check the weather report. Denver, I think, is really kind of falling apart. I've said this the last couple of weeks. I think Fangio is going to be fired, and I think they're going to replace him with an offensive-minded coach, considering how heavy they've loaded their offensive skill position players and with Locke. So, yeah. I love Abram. He's unknown in the NFL. Yeah, dude, he is. I liked him coming out of college. Real good player. Real good player. So, yeah. By the way, Denver Gator cannot talk about Denver. Tua is a great quarterback in college. The NFL hasn't been shown. Yeah. He looks to seem to have the it factor, but I mean, he's due to have a bad game. I really feel like Miami should have kept him on the bench for the whole season. I think they made a mistake, despite the fact that he's been winning. They've been winning with special teams plays, defensive plays, and I like what Miami's doing. I mean, they're building a really good team. I don't like what they're doing with Tua, but I mean, they're in the hunt to win the AFC East, and that's going to be a fun race all the way down the road, hopefully, because I got the Patriots over 9 wins. Hopefully the Patriots get on a hot streak starting Sunday. But I will forever disagree. I think they should let Tua learn for a whole year. So, okay. All right. I heard something about bad weather, but no way should – I'm an old school guy. I think that how you treat quarterbacks in the NFL is you let them sit, and it's been just the opposite now. You know, you've been letting guys start since day one. Watson, I think, started at halftime week 1, just proved that he was ready. Joe Burrow looked ready. I mean, the guy I think is going to win Rookie of the Year is Justin Herbert, and when he got his start with no practice, looked really good. But I still think the first thing you do with a rookie NFL quarterback is have them sit for a year. And I think that trend's going to go away. I think you'll see – I think, we're going to talk a lot of draft stuff, but I think quarterbacks are going to go 1, 2, 3, and 4 in the draft. And I think you're going to see all 4 of them start in 2021. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But I still think the best way you groom an NFL quarterback is have them sit for a year behind a veteran and then start the next year. The days of the quarterback sitting for 2 or 3 years is over, but I still think the best thing to do is have him sit for 1 year. Just slammed an energy drink. Now I'm going to drink coffee. The only thing that's bad coming out of thing game is it'll push back the practice. Well, Alex, I think Miami wins this game. I think Denver is going to clean house after this offseason. But the one thing about Denver is they got a lot of pieces. And keep in mind, you get Von Miller coming back. He was injured early in the year, so I think he's going to come back. Even though he will be, I think, 31, he's still maybe the best defensive player in the AFC West. So he's going to come back to a pretty loaded Denver defense, and Denver's going to have, of course, some draft picks. But I do think Fangio is going to be gone, and that'll be very interesting. Pete, I hope you're right, man. I predict Patriots win the division. Miami doesn't turn it up on offense. They could. It is interesting you wrote off Buffalo already. I thought that was interesting. Though I agreed they should have kept Winston on the bench for a game or two. Savage was not the QB to put him behind. No, he was a guy I really loved in college, but wasn't able to turn it up in the pros. But he was a quarterback I really liked coming out of college. It just it didn't come on the pros. Maybe it wasn't as talented as I thought he was, but. If Teddy B plays, Dan, that's my automatic lock of the week. Over and Panthers win. That game's off. that game's off because if it was on, I might take Carolina in too, but it's been off, and it's and I apologize. I should have had on my sheet here that these two games are off, but I can't bet on neither one of them. So yeah, I got what you're saying. I got what you're saying. Yeah, I got you, man. You got okay. Pete's clarifying under Carolina wins. No, if this game was on, again, this is one of these game time decisions. So Sunday's going to be kind of a hectic day for me, and this is why if you try to get a hold of me Saturday and Sunday, is I have to work, and as soon as I get off of work, I'm hitting Indiana and Ohio State on the DVR. I got like 4 other games, including Coastal Carolina, Appalachian State that I'm going to check out. So there's a lot of games I'm watching Saturday. I forget which game it is. I got a 6 and a 9 o'clock game on DVR, and I forget what it is off the top of my head. I do have the Cincinnati game. I'm not sure if that's going to be live, but I do have action on it, of course. So if you try to get a hold of me this weekend, that's going to be a tough one. But I am going to put action on Dalvin Cook. That may have to be a game time decision. Some of these other games are going to be game time decisions also. So, all right, we're back. If Walker starts, Carolina will win. I would love to see it. But I actually thought Will Grier was the backup. So that's kind of interesting. He needs a streak of undefeated games started by him going. And he's talking about Tua. I think Miami wins, man. If I could get 3, I would have took 3. Oh, okay. You're talking Walker. Coastal is a great team to watch for. Yeah, your buddy Mike, who I wish was on the show today, he put some action on them KU early in the season. I told him it was a bad bet, and he proved me wrong. And then when I watched that game, they're talking about how they're building a team, and I'm like, wait a minute, because how they're building the team was really interesting. I'm like, they have all the pieces to be a legitimate bowl contender and maybe even win that Sun Belt. Well, now I think they're ranked, and there's a chance this could be while the season ends or going into the bowl season, a top 15 team. This is a good football team, Coastal Carolina, if you haven't heard yet, and your buddy might turn me on to them. Baltimore and Dallas, I love as well. Dallas Viking under. Dallas wins, and Baltimore 10 under, and Baltimore wins. Baltimore 10. Oh, okay. Baltimore wins and the under. No, I get that. I'm kind of thinking over in Tennessee, but that's a great thing about this show. You know, we disagree. I'm a little surprised that you like Dallas, but I could see the under in that. What was the under on the Dallas Vikings game? It's 48. It's a low number, but I do like Dalvin Cook. I think Dalvin Cook's going to have a massive game. So it's kind of funny. Little Walker trash talk here if Walker starts the Lions beats. So I think Bridgewater's going to play. But it'll be very interesting here. Same with Tua. Great start for him. It is a great start. But, yeah, I love the trash talk here. This is pretty cool. No, Walker will show you. And Alex has watched him play in, what was it, the AAF, if I'm correct. I know nothing about the guy, but June Jones is the coach there. Thanks, Alex, for telling me that, because I like June Jones. So he's probably a natural passer. June Jones coached him, and it'll be a very interesting game. If he does play, I'd love to see it. I probably won't get the game on, but I got the NFL Red Zone, so it'll be very interesting. He used the starting quarterback for that game. I think it's going to be Bridgewater, so all this PJ Walker talk will be, for naught, but it'll be interesting. I thought it was Grier, whatever, but if Walker plays, I'm definitely going to keep tabs, and we'll talk about it on Wednesday. Same conference side note. My first college game was a raging. Really? Really? They have been quietly a very, very good college team the last couple of years. I think it's like third straight Sun Belt. I think the Sun Belt's like East and West, but Sun Belt's actually a lot of fun, but they don't get a lot of publicity because it's small market teams. It's very rare to have a Sun Belt team ranked, but right now they do. College football is really a lot of fun right now. These two games have the highest run percentage games, will be low scoring. Okay, the Dallas, I didn't think about it, but you're right. Dallas is going to try to run the ball. And so will Minnesota. You have a good point here. I will say this about Minnesota. Justin Jefferson is a beast. It's kind of funny because when Diggs, oh man, I'm so embarrassed. Stephon Diggs. Okay. When Stephon Diggs was in Minnesota, he was clearly the number 2 guy, but Justin Jefferson's taken over the number 1 spot and he's making Thielen the number 2 guy. Justin Jefferson's playing some lights out ball. So, sorry, my stomach's rumbling. Coffee and energy drink. Dallas and the Texans need to finish with the same record. I'd like to see Houston turn it around, but if you're a Dolphins fan, you're loving this because you get the Texans' first and second round draft pick. So, yeah. So we're seeing this here. The one thing I will say is that if you played in a June Jones offense, you're used to throwing the ball. You're probably a natural passer. I think Bridgewater's going to start, but it's something I'll pay attention to because it'd be a great topic here. Kind of cool the back and forth here. So, Denver Gator saying, is Zeke back? I believe so, but I'll be honest, I haven't had a chance to check. So, same thing with Baltimore and Tennessee. Yeah, both teams are going to be run heavy, but both teams can score, and both teams have weapons at wide receiver and tight end. They just have quarterbacks that work better when the running game's kicking off, especially Tennessee. Now, Tennessee can utilize the play action pass, and so can Lamar Jackson, but again, both teams run with the offense, or I'm sorry, it's kind of ironic. Both teams operate better when the running game's working, then they can operate off the play action pass. I still like the over in that game, but that's another game I may put action on, though. Again, we disagree, but that's a great thing about this show. We can disagree and still be cool. Zeke is back and hungry. Dallas still feels they can have that division. I mean, mathematically, yeah, they can. I've heard so much about the players and the coaching staff not getting along, not on the same page. I think we could see the defensive coordinator be fired maybe any week. This will be an interesting game, and I'm kind of cool. I'm kind of glad that we have a difference of opinion here. I think the Vikings are going to win this game, and I think there's a good chance they cover 7. And I'm going to put action on Dalvin Cook. I just have no idea what. If Dallas does win, the NFC East is wide open. Now, I think Philly's going to win this division, and I think it's going to start this week that they're going to go on a streak here because they're starting to get healthy. But Dallas easily has the most talent. I just think they're a train wreck. Even if Zeke returns, I don't believe I'll have much change on the offense. Unless McCarthy changes his scheme, I don't see Dallas going anywhere this season. I kind of agree with that. McCarthy's always been a pass-first coach, and now he's dealing with, I think Dalton's going to start. I'm not 100% sure, to be perfectly honest, but that was the one thing I was a little confused about when they wanted. Now, Jerry Jones said he wanted to bring a Super Bowl winner into Dallas, and there's not too many, head coaches out there with the Super Bowl win. Mike McCarthy was one of them, but he's a coach who wants to throw the ball, and I think Dallas is better suited to run the football. But hey, what do I know? I thought that this season would be tough because you're transitioning offenses and you're transitioning defenses. But yeah, I mean, Dallas easily is the most talented team in the division. But I think you have scheme and injuries. It's just it's going to be too much. Can talent win? Sure, but I don't think so against the Vikings. Then again, hey, look, I'll be the first one to admit if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I will say this, in 2021, I think the Cowboys are going to be a team to fear. I will say that. And keep in mind, I think that they're going to have a new defensive coordinator, and I think they're going to invest heavily this offseason on the defensive side of the ball, but that's not 2020. So, hey, guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I'm going to go ahead and end the show right here. I'm going to go ahead and end the show. I got action on New Mexico and Air Force, and I think that game just kicked off. So I'm going to go ahead and I got it on DVR. I'm going to go ahead and watch it. Guys, thank you so much for the comments. Listen, here's what's going to. Don't trust QBs at. You have a good point, but I think it's more due to the offensive line problems, and they're starting to get healthy. The Giants' defense looks really good, but hey, it's still a long football season. So listen, I'm gonna end the show here. Wish me luck tonight. By the way, the link to my bookie is below. If you want to go ahead and use that, feel free to give that a shot. Wednesday, we're going to break down all 3 Thanksgiving games. It's going to be a pretty Thanksgiving-centric show, but as always, if you have a question, I have an answer. This was a great show, so thank you very much for joining. Thank you very much for the contributions. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up. Have a great weekend. By the way, if you want to contact me, just shoot me an email. I have no problem giving out my number. Just this weekend, I am going to have a lot of football and DVR, so it might be difficult. I'll do my best to return your emails, text messages, whatever you have. Good luck, everybody, and I will see you Wednesday.